I'm going to be installing this Moen bathroom faucet. Keep watching the video, I'll show you how I do it. Welcome back, it's Jeff Lepard from jefflepard.com, and on this channel we do do-yourself videos, vacation videos, general contracting, and so much more. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. So this is the bathroom faucet that I'm going to be installing. It is a Moen Essie 84128, and I'm going to show you how to install the Moen faucet just like this, whether you're purchasing the same one or something similar. And don't forget, I'm going to drop a link down below in the video description for you to get one yourself. So right beside we have the location where I'm going to be installing the faucet, and of course you can see that we've got a current leak right now. There's a problem with the cartridge inside, but rather than just try to fix the existing, it's time for a new one, and that's why the client is going to install a new one. So I'm going to get started right now. So right before we get started, I'm going to unbox the Moen bathroom faucet, and we'll have a look at the contents, what we have inside. Okay, we've got our installation guide. Feel free to go through that as well as this video to help you out with the installation. This is our drain piece. That's to open and close the drain. We have some hardware and a drain that will connect to your existing. Here's the Moen faucet itself that we'll be using. And we have the gasket that you'll place down before installation. Next thing we want to do before we can begin, we can't uninstall the existing without shutting off the hot and cold water. And I'll just show you really quickly. Normally there is shut-off valves underneath, and you'll see that with the copper line. However, sometimes there is not, such as this case. There is no shut-off valve, either in this washroom or the corresponding washroom behind this wall. Therefore, I have to go downstairs in the basement and shut off the main water. Okay, so I'm just in the basement. You just gotta locate the water meter, and you'll see a pipe coming out from the ground, and that's from the city. And this is your main water supply to the house. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. And that's gonna cut all water pressure to the house, allowing me access to work. Back up, you just want to double check to make sure the water's off. When you turn these on, you may get a bit of pressure. That's just the pressure coming out of the lines, and the water will stop flowing. Okay, so now we have no water pressure. We're ready to begin the uninstallation of the existing faucet. So I'm going to go ahead and get underneath the sink and start with disconnecting this. Okay, so I'm just underneath the sink, and you'll see that it's bolted with these plastic couplings, and we have a brass fitting here that's tied into the cold and hot water line. So we're going to try to reuse these. If not, then if your fitting is a little bit different, you might need a hot and cold water line, a flexible hose, and that will do the job as well. If not, you can use the existing, and that'll be fine as long as it's the same fitment. So I'm going to use a wrench, vice grips, or any sort of wrench. Adjustable wrenches are fine. Anything just to get the brass fitting off and the plastic screw that's holding the fixture in. So once I remove that, I'm also going to remove this here, and this is attached to the line, just to give me a little bit more play, and I can work with things a little better before putting that on again. And once I've got it loose enough, I'm just going to use my hand to loosen this off. There we go, and that's free. It will leak some water. So same thing for the hot water side. I'm just going to use these channel locks, and I'm just going to loosen the nut on this side as well before using my hands to take it off. Okay, so now I'm just going to use my channel locks, and I'm going to start loosening the plastic nut which holds the existing faucet in place for loosening it with my finger, like so. Take that all the way off, and I have to do the same thing for the cold water side. Okay, so that's off. And lastly, the only thing we have to disconnect now is the drain shaft that allows the sink to fill up, or plug. That's the arm for the plug. And to do that is pretty simple. Just disconnect that here with the clip, and you'll see a little screw tab here. And this is what I'm going to loosen off, and that's going to pull this shaft right out. Just going to pinch this clip. It's going to release the shaft, like so. And just loosen this screw, and this is going to drop right out, like that. Now we're back up top, and this will just lift right out, and you can dispose of that. Before you begin installing the new Moen bathroom faucet, you just want to clean off the area around from the dirt and debris. You want a fresh seal for the new faucet and the gasket. Just make sure everything is clean, and then you're ready to begin installing. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to take the gasket, the seal, and the grooves. There's a groove side. You want the groove side up, and that will fit snug into place into your bathroom faucet. And then I'm going to drop that in place where it's going to be seated, just like so. Just remember to make sure to clean the area as we previously did in the previous step. And now we're ready to use the screws provided in the bag here, and we're going to secure the faucet in place. Okay, we're just going to start with the hot water. Tighten that all the way till it's snug, and we'll do the same thing for the cold water. Next, I'll make sure this is in position, and then I'll use grips, vice grips, or channel locks, whatever you have. Just don't go too crazy with this, and make sure this is tight and secure. Of course, lining up your existing water lines, or if you're using hoses, then that's fine. One other thing I'll mention is just make sure you don't tighten this in and then you can't get the drain piece in. Just make sure you can slide that into place. If you can't, then it's a good idea to put this in before you start tightening this in, just in case you tighten everything in and then you can't get that in if you're going to hit the back wall or anything. So I've just secured it in by hand. It's still loose, and this is in place. Now, since that's in place, I'm ready to go ahead and tighten this in for good. Okay, so now that the faucet is secure, I'm going to take the brass fittings, bolts, and just hand tighten that around on the hot and cold. And if you don't have these, you would be using cold and hot water lines, and that's where you'll connect that. Just make sure that the gasket is in place so that the water doesn't leak. Okay, so that's secure. I'm just going to use some pliers or a wrench, whatever you have, adjustable wrench or channel locks, and just tighten those to make sure that that's secure as well. Okay, and the same thing for the cold. And lastly, you're going to want to connect the shaft for the plug. That's to fill up your sink or not. Now, I don't need this piece, and you may not need that piece as well. If you do, just follow the instructions very carefully on how to install this kit. It's pretty straightforward, but as you can see, this sink already has a fairly new plug, drain system. Everything is fairly new, and we're going to keep the existing where there's no need to change this. So I'm going to use the old hardware, and I'm going to connect that with the drain, and everything should work just fine. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect the adjustable shaft here. Just going to put that right through, and I'm going to tighten the bolt up here. And right before you tighten it, just make sure that you can get the drain piece that's connected to your drain through the shaft here, and that it's going to go up and down. And then once you get that, you can finally tighten this. Just remember, all the way down is wide open, all the way up is going to be where your drain is plugged. So just make sure you have free flowing, and I would adjust it on the down first. So this is where I'm going to tighten. And the last thing to do is to secure the clip. So we're just going to put the clip on like so, and just adjust that where you need that. And that's just going to keep the bracket from coming off. And we can test that that works like so. The next thing to do is to turn the water supply on, and we're going to make sure that we don't have any leaks. You want to check to make sure there's no water leaking around any of the fittings, and then of course make sure that everything functions correctly. Okay, we're right down in the basement again, and we're going to go ahead and turn the water back on. Just going to turn it on slowly so the water builds up. You can hear it fire up. Okay, we're back at the bathroom faucet. Now, you don't want to turn this on full because there's going to be air in the lines. You want to turn it on gradually, very slow, and release the air in the lines. And you can hear that. And the same thing for the cold. And we'll leave it full. And we want to check for any leaks underneath. And we'll let that run for a minute or two. So far, it looks good. Now we're going to check to make sure the sink will hold water. So it's draining right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, which will plug the sink, and it's filling up. That means that's working. We'll let that fill up, and then I'll drain it to make sure that works. Now that the sink has water in it, and that's holding, I'm just going to go ahead and press the shaft to release the water in the drain. So that's it, guys. That's how you install the Moen bathroom faucet. I just want to thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, bash that bell to turn notifications on for all upcoming videos, share the video, like the video, leave a comment down below. And don't forget to check out the link in the video description if you want to get one of these Moen bathroom faucets. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Jeff Lepard, jefflepard.com. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.